Welcome to the reboot of the Lunchbox series here at the ASUN. I'm Jordan Griffitt, and I'm joined by the nation's leading scorer in women's lacrosse, Kennesaw State Owl, Sienna Gore. Sienna, I appreciate you stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into your individual season, I kind of want to talk about the team as a whole right now. You guys are 8-4 on the season, 4-game win streak, guys playing the best lacrosse of the season. Why do you think that is right now?
8-4 feels really good. I think this is a really special team, and it's one of the best that I've been a part of in my 5 years here. We have a really great combination of experienced returners, great new transfers, and then talented freshmen. So it's a really cool combination. It's a special team. We've been working really hard, and we've had so much fun this season, and we're excited to see how much more we can accomplish together.
Well, speaking of some of those teammates, Cheslin Marr and Hannah Barth are two I kind of just want to highlight, players that have done a tremendous job playmaking and other facets of the game, but also coming off of the bench or coming onto the field after the game has already started. What's it been like to have players like that come in and energize the game?
Cheslin and Hannah have had just an amazing season. First, coming off the bench, I mean, that's a whole different mentality that they have to have. And it's been super impressive to see. And it's cool, like 5 years here, getting to see their growth that they've made as players. They work so hard outside of practice, and it's really shown on the field this year.
And another player that we're going to talk about as well, you mentioned some transfers. There's also some young players, but a transfer that's really stood out, Mackenzie Jackson. And sometimes she can really just take a game over, whether it be the draw control or in the attack. What's it been like having her on the team along with her senior leadership?
Ken's is just a huge part of the team this year, as is Bailey, our other grad transfer. Ken's does such a great job of directing our offense. She's a vocal player on the field, and she makes those big plays in the moment when we need her. And she's crucial all over the field, the ride, draw controls, and scoring goals. So she's been a huge part of this season and a huge part of our success so far this year.
What was the moment for both of those transfers you just mentioned that you knew, okay, they're going to blend into the team just fine?
I think it was right in our first practice in the fall when we did our run test. They made a statement, they passed it on the first try, and I knew immediately, they're here to play. They're here to help us win. And it's been so much fun playing with them so far.
Is that something people usually don't pass their first time?
The run test is really hard.
What is the run test?
So it's called the Nike Spark test.
Okay.
And you have to get a certain level based off of what position you play, defender, attacker, or midfielder. And it's really hard. And a lot of times, a lot of freshmen don't pass it because, they haven't had experience running it. And so I know Bailey and Ken's aren't freshmen, but, it's their first year coming in. And so they kind of come in as a freshman, not knowing that test as well. And they both passed it on the first try and did really good. And so you just knew, they're here to play and they're here to help the team win. There
you pass it your freshman year?
Yeah, I did.
You did? Yeah. Barely, or did you crush that thing?
No, I passed it. There was a senior on the team actually who lived in Georgia, and she reached out and asked if anyone wanted to, practice running it. And so I took advantage of it, and she really took me under her wing and helped me with the test. So I had a lot of help beforehand.
Okay. If you didn't have that, do you think you would have passed it just coming in fresh?
I'm not sure. Our conditioning coach was also really, really good. And he sent out these, really hard conditioning workouts that we had to do in the summer. So I did all of those. So, I feel like I would have mentally been nervous and scared without that senior's help. But conditioning wise, he really got us, in shape for that test.
This is the first year you're playing without your sisters. You graduated last year. Kind of two questions with this. How's it been for you playing without her this year? And how's it been for her? I know you two are close, having to watch on the sidelines, watching you play, because I know she's been at the home games.
Yeah, it's been hard. We're twins, we're sisters, we're best friends. I mean, we've been playing on a sports team together since we were 4 or 5 years old. Wow. So not being on the same team as her is so weird. It's still weird, but my teammates are so incredible, and they've really helped me through this transition. There's a girl on a freshman, Shay, she's number 4, and Marissa was number 4. And the first couple practices, I would go, Marissa, like I would call her name, which freaked her out. But so it was a weird transition, but, they've really helped me through it. I obviously miss her out on the field. I wish she could be a part of this team, but, I'm excited for everything that we've done this season. For Marissa, it's the same thing. She wishes she could be out playing with me, but, she travels to all the games, even when they're away games. So she's still there, just not out on the field.
Does she give you a hard time after the games? Like, hey, you probably could have done this a little bit better.
No, but she knows when I'm going to be mad about a certain play. So when I come out of the game and I'm frustrated, she's like, yeah, I knew you were going to be upset about that.
Okay, I got you. Very rarely, I'm kind of continuing the sister theme here, very rarely do players get to play together as siblings in high school, be good in high school, let alone college. Both of you guys did that. What was it like with your sister growing up together as well as growing up in the sport of lacrosse?
I mean, we just always knew at a young age that we wanted to play sport in college together. Our family sports has just always been a big and important thing. And growing up, our parents put us in almost every sport possible until we narrowed it down until basketball and lacrosse in high school. So sports has always been a really big part of our life. And once we knew that we wanted to play lacrosse in college, in middle school and 8th grade, we've just made that a priority in our life. So every vacation we've gone on, we brought our cleats with us and a tape measure, to measure out distances to run, and bought a pop-up goal so we could take it on vacations and stuff. So we just have dedicated ourselves to the sport and just worked really hard. And we're grateful that our hard work has paid off.
Who was Sienna Gore, the basketball player?
I love basketball so much. Basketball was actually the first sport basketball and soccer was the first sport that I played, I think when I was 4 years old. And lacrosse was the last sport that me and my sister tried when we were in 4th grade. So it's kind of funny, our first and our last sport were the last 2 sports that we played. I love basketball so much, but I haven't, been able to play it since I graduated in high school. So me and my sister joke around that after I graduate, we're going to join a league or something and start playing basketball again.
Was there any sort of decision making when you were in high school? If you love basketball, you also love lacrosse, to pick one of the two. Was that a tough decision for you at any point?
Not really. I think me and my sister both knew once we played lacrosse, we fell in love with the sport. I think lacrosse is so unique that it's a combination of the best aspects of a lot of sports. Defensive principles in basketball, offensive motion sets, that from basketball transfers over into the lacrosse. That's kind of the same thing. You can even look at soccer, we can kick the ball. But also there are different aspects in soccer that lacrosse has, but lacrosse is more high scoring. If you even look at football, wide receivers run routes. Lacrosse, you will run a route sometimes to clear the ball in transition. Right. So it's such a fun sport. And it's just that great combination of the best aspects of a lot of different sports.
Kind of talking about your sister once again, now being graduated this year, speaking of kind of the analytical depth that you went into right there, the playmaking, she led the team in assists last year. This year, kind of everyone's had to chip in. How do you think the team has done in terms of playmaking?
Yeah, I mean, Marissa was a huge, one of our best players on the team, and that was a huge role that we had to fill. And I think that we've all just decided we have to pick up the slack and the gap that she's left behind. We're running a new offense this year. That's a lot of fun. And so it's letting all of us kind of, play on the strengths that we have. I like to dodge, but then also, add new elements to our game and that assisting element too. So, it was definitely in the fall, it was a transition having to learn new roles and add new things to our games. But I think that's shown in our season so far this year, being 8-4, that we've been able to make that transition and that adjustment.
Speaking of you individually, you not only lead the team in goals, the ASUN, but also the nation in total goals this year. What is something, it might be tough to explain fully here, but you kind of mentioned dodging. What are some of the aspects that go into the art of scoring a goal?
I think, individually, it shows my name and, I have that stat right now, but it's a team effort. So everything that I've been able to accomplish is owed to my teammates and coaches. I mean, they set me up on the field. They push me so hard in practice and in the off season and in the games. So, I might be the one scoring that goal in that moment, but it doesn't work. If players on the side aren't moving and doing the right, plays and everything. So my teammates and coaches, they deserve all the credit in the world for that.
Speaking of coaches, what is your relationship like with Coach Mannis?
It's great. I mean, 5 years together is just such a blessing that we've been able to have. Right. She's really seen me grow, I think, from a shy, quiet freshman into more like taking a leadership role. I've had so much fun learning and growing as a player underneath her. And then all the other assistant coaches that I've had throughout the years have come in and brought their expertise, and I've really been able to learn from all of them and add new things to my game. So I'm so grateful to Coach Mannis, Coach Bianca, Coach Keith, and all the coaches that I've had here at Kennesaw.
Well, I know you're obviously very humble about the goal scoring, but you do score a lot of these goals. But something that I've also noticed throughout a lot of these goals is 50% of the time you'll be very excited with the team, celebrating as you usually are. And then the other half, it seems like we can't even get a smile out of you. What kind of distinguishes which celebration you're gonna pull out that time?
I think I'm much more happy for other people and excited for my other teammates when they score than when I do. I don't know. I think it depends on if I was frustrated with myself in the play, if I was frustrated, if I was fouled or hit harder. But I'm definitely more excited and more happy when my teammates score than when I do.
What causes you to be frustrated with yourself out there?
I think when I make a mental error or something that I feel like as a leader or a fifth year, I've had this experience. When I make mistakes that I feel like I shouldn't be making with the experience that I have, I get frustrated with myself. But my teammates do a really good job when they see me get down on myself, just picking me up and making sure I don't get too down on myself so that I can stay focused in the game.
Being in your fifth year here, scoring so many goals, does it ever become somewhat tough to be self-motivated, to have that self-drive day in and day out?
I think, again, that's the culture that we've built here at Kennesaw. It's been fun to grow with it in 5 years. And my freshman year, it was a lot different than it looked this year. And I think that's a testament to Coach Mannis and the assistant coaches that we've had. And then all the new players that we've gotten throughout the years, everyone has really bought into Kennesaw's culture and the goal of wanting to win a conference championship. And so we push ourselves really, really hard in the summer, in the off season, in the fall, so that we can, hopefully achieve that goal one day.
Kind of speaking more of you as Sienna, what got you into lacrosse? I know you talked about the family sports being thrown into just about every sport, but what about you specifically got into lacrosse?
I think the thing that I love most about lacrosse is first that I could play it with my sister. And then also just, like I said, being able the correlations between lacrosse and basketball. I love basketball so much. And I almost feel like sometimes my parents call me a basketball player that plays lacrosse. Okay. Because some of the way I play defense is the same way that I play defense in basketball. The dodging and stuff in lacrosse is kind of what I've taken in the moves that I've learned on the basketball court. So the things that I like more about lacrosse and basketball are that it's on the football field, so that I can really sprint and show my speed. 12 players on the field as opposed to 5 really make the game different. And, it's just been so much fun, and it's been fun to kind of look back at myself, in high school and middle school and now, and see the growth that I've made through all these years.
So the question is, how did you play defense when you played basketball? Was it physical? Were you getting flagrants out there?
No, I don't think so. I think my sister more than I did. She's a bit more aggressive than I am, for sure.
Okay, so like the Jordan and Pippen of high school basketball, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. We like to think ourselves as that. I don't know if we were.
Okay. What of all the sports that you've played in your life, which one did you like the least? Or did you have a least favorite?
I think probably soccer.
Soccer. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play it for very long, but I just felt like that there wasn't as much scoring and not as much action in the game. But
Well, there's plenty of scoring in lacrosse, I can tell you that, compared to
yeah,
soccer. Certainly.
yeah.
Outside of, we know you're a goal scorer, we know you're a tremendous lacrosse player. What are some other hobbies, or what is something else that you're really good at that maybe some ASUN fans might not know?
Well, I think I can speak about, I'm an engineering major. I got my bachelor's in industrial engineering, my master's I'm getting in systems. My sister also, she was an electrical engineer. So she,
Okay.
she's very smart. She got a job at Lockheed Martin, and that was her dream as along as with mine. And so then I recently just accepted a job with Lockheed Martin as a manufacturing engineer. So engineering is something that we've always just been drawn to. And yeah, super excited to work for the same company once I graduate.
Same teams, grown up together, now working for the same company. I mean, one in the same right now, are you?
Yeah, kind of.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, congratulations on the degree. Well, what's that job entail for you?
Thank you. I'm going to be working on the manufacturing of the C-130J at Lockheed Martin. So getting to do corrective actions of nonconformances and investigations on flight line and for any problems and stuff. So I'm super, super excited, and I can't wait to start.
Well, that was a lot of words that are over my head, but it sounds like you definitely know what you're doing, and that's awesome. How do you balance? Is that something that you started? Are you doing that while you're also playing? How does that kind of work?
Yeah, I start that in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so I start in June, but I did an internship a couple summers ago with Northrop Grumman, and they're also an aerospace and defense company. So that really helped me prepare for the job. And then this whole semester, I've been reading books about the C-130, just trying to get myself prepared so that I can do a really good job in June.
What got the Gore sisters into engineering?
Well, we have an uncle who's an engineer. So growing up, he would show us projects and things that he was working on. So that kind of initially started our interest in it. But I also feel like there are a lot of correlations between being an engineer and being an athlete on a team. Like, most basic part of engineering is working with a team to solve a problem and working towards a goal. And that's what you do in sports. That's what I do on the lacrosse field every day. I'm on a team. Our goal is to win games, win a conference championship. And that's kind of the basis of engineering. So kind of the, drawing from sports is what drew us to engineering.
So all-time leading scorer in ASUN history, Kennesaw State history, engineer. That's a busy schedule. What do you like to do to relax? What do you do in your off time? Do you have any hobbies or anything like that?
Me and my sister, we like to stay active. So we'll go hiking. We like to do biking trips. We like to go out on the lake. So anything to stay active. I have cousins. It's been nice growing up in Georgia, going to a school in Georgia. I have cousins who live here. So I love going to their games, teaching my cousins how to play lacrosse. So I'm super lucky that I found the school in Georgia, and I can still, do like hobbies and things that I'm interested in, but also be really a part of my younger cousins' lives as well.
So are you trying to groom your cousins to break your records?
I would love to. My cousins are really good. They can shoot behind their back and pass behind their back. So they're going to be really good lacrosse players one day. I hope so.
Well, my last question for you, Sienna, how far can this team go this year?
I think that we have incredible, incredible potential, and that's shown in our 8-4 record so far. I mean, that's a historic record with Kennesaw. And starting the season off playing against Florida, that was, I think people would be surprised by this, but it was a confidence boost for us. If you see the score of the game, you wouldn't think that it would be, but if you watch the game, you would see that, we held with them in the majority of the game, and we have taken so much confidence from that. And each game that we've played, we've continued to grow and improve and get better. And it's just been so much fun. And we're just so excited to see how much more we can accomplish. I think we are a force to be reckoned with, and we're excited to get into these conference games, and we want to win a conference championship this year.
ASUN fans, make sure to follow us on all your social media platforms at ASUN Sports and like us on Facebook. This has been the Lunchbox Series. If you want to see Siena in action, that's at noon, April 2nd, a Saturday against the Stetson Hatter Siena. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm glad we got the series back up, and I was finally glad to be able to talk with you today.
Thank you so much.